Wow, it's been a while since I've did a vlog. I think it's been over a week now. So just to quickly fill you in. So basically, the reason why I haven't vlogged for over a week seems to be a common occurrence is just lack of content and lack of stuff to show you that's going on that's different. But today is going to be hopefully quite a fun, interesting day. Pre-warning, this is a full car vlog day. So if you're not interested in cars, then hopefully I'll see you on the next one. But this is, yeah, it's a big car day. So long story short, the car's off the road. Basically, we had some problems with it for a while, and then it just got progressively worse ever since we changed the exhaust, which is strange because the faults that we seem to think it is has no link to the exhaust being changed anyway. But so that's all. It's been off the road for the past couple of days, and today, being Saturday, is a day that me and the mad scientist Jesse, I don't know why I call him Jesse, his name's Ben, you'll see him later on. We're going to pretty much spend the day fixing the car and hopefully upgrading a lot of bits to it as well, because we've had some few deliveries to go. We've had some deliveries for the car parts, and we're going to get them fitted basically. So I think the first thing we're going to do this morning is actually unboxing. So we've got quite a few things that I haven't even opened yet. So there's some of them there all kind of boxed up. Now there is one more downstairs. And the reason why it's not up here is because it's too large for me to bring up. And we live in arrangements at the moment. If you remember from one of my previous vlogs, we got Taz home from university in the guest room. And we now got Hannah home as well. And obviously I've nicked one of the old bedrooms that we had for the kids. So she is currently on the sofa. And I don't want to be down there disturbing her too much because it's still a little bit early. And yeah, so I'm just kind of respecting her privacy a little bit. But later on, we'll go through exactly what the other package is, and we're still waiting on one more thing, which I've been in touch with the manufacturer, and unfortunately, it's just been like a 2-month wait for it to be made. So it's a shame. It's on its way. I'm not too sure exactly when. They reckon mid-July. I ordered this around the end of May, beginning of June. So it's been a long process. It's one part I'm really looking forward to getting. So it's a bit of a shame, but what we're going to do, we're going to get some unboxing going here, so that way, when we get onto the car later on, you already know kind of what we got, what we're working with, and we don't have to worry about quickly cutting into what we're doing to unboxing it and then jumping straight in. So it gives you kind of an idea of what's actually going to go down. So I'm actually going to try and switch this over to the knockoff GoPro I got. It's I can't remember what it's a cross tour action cam. So the audio and the picture quality may change, but it's a good test to see just how good this camera is for 40 quid. I already know the audio is not going to be as good, so I apologise, but it's just easier because that's already mounted up on a stand, as you can see, on a little kind of little gorilla pod. So it's just easier to use that than it is for me to, yes, I could put my phone on there, but you know, that means I can just make sure my phone doesn't get damaged when I'm out in the car. And I paid for the camera, so I might as well see what it's like. So yeah, let's get into the unboxing. Right, so the bonus of this camera here, the Cross Tour Action Cam, is very much like the GoPro. You can link it to your phone. So if I just kind of move that around, you can see my phone's there. I can then kind of put this where I need to, and I've got my phone to make sure that basically when I look, you know, I know, we can all see everything that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it around as I need to at the time. But so let's start off with one that's actually already kind of been going on. I think I may have mentioned it in one of my previous vlogs. So basically I've got my standard steering wheel on the car, but I haven't always had that one. I had it's basically a Momo aftermarket Alcantara steering wheel, really nice, but I lent it to a friend, and through transport, whatever way it happened, I'm not too fussed, but we lost some of the bolts. So basically this is the it's an NRG snap-on boss kit there with the main boss onto the original steering column, and we lost these bolts here. I had 2 left, and it's just not safe to run on a car like that. Yes, technically it will hold, but the steering wheel is such an important factor of the car, well, it helps you turn. So if you're going down the road even at the average speed limit of the road, and that steering wheel somehow comes loose or comes off, that's extremely dangerous. So I had to put a halt on that to make sure I got the right bolts, and now we got those. The steering wheel is an easy job that we can do today. OBD2, off subject slightly, another car related thing. These are about a tenner or less on Amazon, eBay, or any other sites. Highly recommend it. It basically plugs into what they call the OBD2 port on most cars post 95. I could be wrong. It's pretty much guaranteed 2000 and upwards. You can plug this into the car and you can download either a free app or a purchased app. I went for the purchased one, which was in our money £2.95, I think. But you can then see so much data on the car. So you're talking about revs, air fuel, pressures, temperatures, but also engine codes. So if you've got an engine management light on, you don't know why, and you don't want to take it to a garage to get charged 60 quid just to say, oh, by the way, it's because this bolt's loose or this is disconnected. Then get yourself one of these, like a tenner plus a £3 app, and you'll be able to find out exactly every code that comes up on your engine light, and you can turn it off if you need to. So it's a, for what it is, it's more valuable than you think. For the sake of, again, that cost me less than a tenner, I think. It's extremely, extremely useful. But this is something quite simple. We'll go with this one here. So basically, when we were fitting the exhaust header, we noticed that obviously my car has an EGR pipe, EGR valve. We thought this could have been one of the faults maybe, because we had to really, really tackle the EGR pipe that was connected to the exhaust header, which I will show you later. To get it off, we had to. We tried everything. The only thing was heat to get that nut off. And you can basically, what you can do is you can delete that, which is it can be better for the system at this point. So I basically bought a blanking cap, as you can see there. That's just going to go on the exhaust header, and then the plate, which is going to block off the pipe section where it goes onto the back of the air intakes. Next one. So this one basically is hopefully the parts that's going to fix the fault of the car. So basically, when we fitted the exhaust header, I mean, it wasn't necessarily straight on the dot of doing it. It's just after the few days following that, it started to bog down. You're getting rough idles. I was losing power. It felt like it was misfiring. There was all sorts of weird, odd things going on, and so we were trying to obviously link it to the exhaust header, because that's the last job that we did on the car. One of the issues I found actually was on the exhaust header is they have a lambda sensor port, O2 sensor port, and not all cars require that to be used. So they pretty much like that bolt that you saw just then. Or that nut, if you can imagine that size with a bolt on the end of the thread, that was on the exhaust header at the port where you could take it out and put an O2 sensor in. Now, because obviously I don't have an O2 sensor in that point, I didn't need to use it. But what I didn't check is if it was tightened up, and it wasn't. So that was causing loss of pressure and also a metal rattling noise, because the bolt was that loose, it was rattling within the header. So we tightened that up, and I was hoping that would be the issue, but it wasn't. And after some more investigation, which you'll see later, I think this could have been the fault. And the annoying thing about this is a common fault with these cars, but also that I replaced these last year, and that is what they call the coil pack. And so when I bought the car, the guy that I bought it from was a retired mechanic. The car was garage stored, it was dry stored, so it was very well looked after. All kind of typical welding had been done, you know, to the seals and everything else. But I noticed I pretty much had to pull over on the way home one day because it started smelling of egg, stuttering and stalling, spluttering everywhere and coughing, and engine light was on and off and on and off, and it was awful. And I thought, well, first instincts was catalytic converters absolutely sharted itself. But further investigation, I realised that the coil packs had gone, which, regardless of how well you look after the car, they can just go, which is a real big shame. The biggest shame with these is they're quite expensive. So the genuine coil packs, because mine only uses two, I'll show you later, £120 for just one of those. Not with the HT lead, that is separate. So just, that's on there pretty good.
but just that bit there, £120 each. This one, a little bit heavier than the last one. But again, I know what all these are. Even though I haven't opened, I've kept them closed to give you a proper kind of genuine unboxing experience. Yeah, these were custom made for me because they didn't have the ones I wanted. I'm really excited to get these on the car and give them a try. And I'll show you the details there. Hopefully you can see that. It's called Freaky Parts. So they deal with not necessarily just Mazda stuff, I believe they do other manufacturer stuff as well. But these are quite heavy. And that's always a good sign. Haribos! We've got 3-pack of Haribos with them. Plenty of bolts and stuff. And if you can't tell what it is, which I won't really expect you to, because I don't think I've ever told you what to expect. So these, and this is the first time, as you can see, I've seen them myself. So I'm really hoping they're right, and also as good as I was hoping they'd be. They certainly wrapped them well. Right, let's rip into them. Oh, nice and shiny. So these, they're actually quite light. These are billet 25mm spacers for the MX-5. As you can see there, they've even ripped that on there. If you can see, MX-5 25mm. So basically, when I got the car, they had 16-inch wheels on. I don't know the exact offset. They're running 205s, 45 16s, I think, and they're all right. I prefer 15-inch on that car, but for decent wheels these days, if you can imagine decent wheels and tyres, you're pushing probably close to 800 quid to £1,000 for a decent brand new set. And I would rather put my money into smaller parts of the car that are going to give me maybe a better performance return than just something like the wheels. I'm still looking for swapping with people, but the one thing I did notice with the car is that on those wheels, even though they're 205s, which I think standards are 185, again, don't quote me on that, I'll have to double check, but they sit really far within the arch. Literally, the wheels, you can imagine that's the wheel right there, the arch sits around here, and then the car's here, so it really sinks into the car frame. And so hopefully these 25mm spacers are just going to bring the wheel out to the arch a little bit more, give it a bit more stance, which is what we want. So I've gone for all four exactly the same size, so give it kind of a square all the way around, and hopefully this will make a big difference. Now this was kind of impulse. When the car broke, basically I started panicking, thinking, well, what is the problem? I need to get it fixed. I just went out and started buying parts. The EGR blanking was one of them, and this was the other one. I don't regret buying it, or buying them, because I still think this is actually going to help the car long term. It's such a big box of what they actually are. Lots of packaging. So yeah, basically, as I mentioned, I thought maybe it was a misfire, which can be down to the main components I say of a misfire, the main faults of a misfire, are leads, plugs, coil packs. Well, I've got aftermarket 8mm HT leads, performance leads, which are really, really good quality, and the likelihood of those going were very slim. I then had the coil packs, which I only replaced last year. To me, the likelihood was very slim. The only thing that I thought could have been maybe at fault were the spark plugs. So I ended up kind of looking online, and with help from Ben, we found these ones, which are the NGK ZFR 5F11, which I think they come under the V-Power range or whatever. So these are meant to increase the performance of the car and last longer, and they're meant to kind of be used, I think, more on performance ones. So basically, hoping these spark plugs will also make a difference. We'll be replacing the coil packs and the spark plugs at the same time, as well as the other bits for the car. So hopefully these should make a big difference as well. So another shout out. This is from OP Oils, really, really good company, UK based. I ordered off them on the Wednesday and they arrived on the Thursday. Really, really good company. They got all sorts on there. They do stuff. They specialise in oils, hence the name OP Oils. But they do all sorts of different car parts. Really high quality stuff. Really fast turnaround time. And yeah, so thank you for those. And that's pretty much it. Other than a whole collection of stickers. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want cool stickers on the car, right? So we've got to find a place to put all those as well. But that's just little bits of extra bits and pieces. Right, time to start cracking with the car. Ben's already arrived. Hopefully you can see him clearly. So, if you remember me saying about the coil packs, we're trying to use this action cam, I don't know how good it's going to be, but coil pack wise, you're about to see exactly what I mean about how absolutely knackered it was. So those are leads hopefully we're going to keep, which is 8mm performance leads from Mr. Retro Leads, and Ben also runs similar ones in his car, just a different colour. Where can I put you? I'll put you down here somewhere. Hopefully you can see alright. There we go.
A 9:45 on the clock now. I'm still in your bed. You keep your eyes on me, but somehow
Have a gander to this then.
Oh no. Wow.
So yeah, so basically the rubber, what would you call it?
It's like a ferrule, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't even fit out of the block properly.
Oh,
Luckily, you just got it out without it. Last time when I
Yeah.
did this the other day, that came off and that was down in the block.
Yeah, so it's split.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Should be pointed on.
So hopefully this is the cause
Working very well.
of the poor running. Number 2.
Oh, shit, I can already feel it coming out.
So that's the one that the stalk actually came
Yeah.
out as well. You can have the same issue with that bit as well.
We get this one out as well.
Yeah. And there he goes. This is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, it's knackered.
That's fucked.
Yeah. This is.
Sorry, beep.
This was April last year.
Yeah. that's
I
not
bought
good.
these, and that spring in there, that's what popped out the other one. It's gone. It went down there somewhere. Yeah.
On to no man's land.
Yeah.
We just got to try and get that little bugger out now then.
You got it. You got it.
Oh,
Oh, there
yes.
she is.
But yeah,
Crap.
not cracked, but it's just no. There's no.
Absolute.
I don't think they've even glued it or used any.
No, you can't
Bonding
see. You
resin
can't
or
see any.
anything.
Yeah, there's no resin or anything on there.
No,
It's just like it's just popped on.
just popped on and they hope for the best. I
Yeah.
guess.
Which compared to the OEM ones, grab one of these. These ones are glued on, and they're much stiffer. And even the design is slightly different, which you would expect from OEM to aftermarket, but yeah, much better quality. So now we need to get the spark plugs out because we're actually replacing those at the same time. We'll check the condition of those as well.
everything there. Don't run away from me. I don't see the flicker I used to see. We talked about all of our worst fears, but you didn't say a thing. And now after all of these years, I still give you everything. In the meantime,
And bank 4.
Not as bad as some of the others.
No.
As I mentioned earlier, those are the ones we're replacing them with, which are the NGK
Horrors.
ZF or F11. 5 F11s, sorry. Should we run it with the standard leads first?
Yeah, yeah. See how we get on with everything with OEM, and
See where she goes from there.
then yeah, we'll have the 8mm in afterwards.
So if you can see the difference between those. So that's black one is standard, the yellow one is the Performance 8mm. There's a big difference in that. But we'll run them with the standard ones first, see how she runs, and if this actually fixes the problem that we had.
There you go.
If it doesn't, then I'm going to throw it, basically. Number one. Number two. Right, so that's technically everything back in as it should be. Moment of truth. Will she run? Well, she'll run, but will she?
Chug chug pop pop bang bang.
Yeah.
Whoa whoa whoa! No, I'm joking.
Don't do that.
Eh?
Just got to settle for a minute. The engine light's on, which is fine because that's just picking up the
Yeah, we'll clear that out.
original error.
Yep.
But she's running better. Well, we'll keep her cold at the moment, so she'll want to do some bits.
Yes.
She's not doing what she was doing. Oh, yes, that's good, that's good. That's very good. Right, I won't shut that because the keys are in the door. Right, that's that bit done. So, start first call that fix the fault.
Yep.
EGR delete next?
EGR, yeah. Go with that.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a pain. You've got a bolt down, right down the header section there. I hope you can pick that up. That was the pain to get off the original header, and then that's going to run round the back there, down just behind the intake there, which is this section here.
Yep.
And just basically a banking plate on there, blanking bolt on this side, and that's done. But that possibly may leave the engine light on, correct?
Look at the colour of the manifold.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's coming really
It's
good.
really coming nice. Hot.
Oops.
She warms up quickly. God damn it. Come on.
So yeah, this likes to get a tad tight quite quickly. And we're undoing, not doing up.
Yeah. It's mad.
The weather cheered up a bit. Got a bit of blue sky there.
Okay, slight change of plan. Yeah, copyright. Yeah, so we were able to obviously deal with the coil packs and stuff. We started taking apart the exhaust header, EGR of the exhaust header, which you saw we were struggling with. Finally got it off after a lot of persuading. But the problem is it's skipped a thread right on the first thread, which then has obviously kind of caused problems with the actual thread on the header, where we need to basically screw the new nut on. So yeah, me and Ben are now off to Mark Taylor.
Yep.
Who's a great mechanic locally to us, and he's got the right tool basically for us to be able to rethread and hopefully get ourselves out of a sticky situation. So we're in the Honda wagon, and hopefully we can go get this sorted and actually get back on track. So yeah, whoops. These things happen. Welcome to car life, real. Right, so basically we did that side, but we had the EGR plate that kind of sits down here. You kind of just see down this section here. The problem being is the plate that we got was actually a little bit too large, so we just kind of filed it down, and that fits like a beauty now. So that bit's done. We used a gasket just to kind of seal it off. We just need to bolt that up now. Okay, so a slight change of plan. Yeah, the original steering wheel's back on. The problem we had, it's totally my fault. Basically, you got the bosket here, quick release there, bosket here, Tom over there. Basically, I had two boskets, and Ben had a new steering wheel as well, also bought from Tom. So I gave him one of my boss kits, saying, look, if that fits, that's perfect, go use it. I gave him the wrong one, basically. So this is actually, this is the one that I didn't need. He has the one that I do need. He's not that local for me to go pick it up, so unfortunately, I've got to go back to the original steering wheel. Yeah, which is a bit of a bummer, but these things happen. So original steering wheel still. Main things under the bonnet are all done. We just need to replace one of the belts to stop some chirping. And at the moment, I think the lads are currently working on the spacers. So because they're hub-centric ones, we're just kind of threading all the bolts on. Ben's doing that. Tom, I don't know what the fuck Tom's doing.
I don't know either.
The usual stuff. Looks busy, pretends to be busy. Like so. So yeah, we're just kind of just working through the spaces now. I say we, I'm not doing anything right now. I should go do something. So yeah, I'll get on with that.
So yeah, today on J Vlogs Life, I'm going to fit a washer bottle. Hi, I'm Joe Carey. Welcome to my channel. Here we go. Let's have a look. How the fuck do you work this thing? So we're going to install this little washer bottle up here. Look, you know, somewhere, somehow. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Signing out, Jay. So here we are. Welcome to another episode of Jay Vlogs Life. And I'm trying to convince Jay to chop his rear bumper, but he's being a pussy. So please put one like or one comment down below if you want him to chop it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Yeah. Right, okay, test time. So we've done one side. You can see that's actually, yeah, that's made a huge amount of difference. You can see already that's actually kind of camber wise, it's just sticking out, but that's much better. Right, do you want to huh? Well, yeah, that's the point. Yeah, I mean, you see that side there, and then you see that side there. I mean, that's lowered and it just sits so far within the arches on both sides. You get an angle from down here. Yeah, that makes a massive difference. Yeah, go on. Alright, keep it there. I don't think that's rubbing at all. No, that's fine. No. No, other way. I think we're just about there, you know. It's close to the front guard, but it doesn't actually hit. It's about a finger through. Yeah. Straight up. Yeah, that'll do. Happy days. That's one side done, we can do the others now.
The clock is running quicker while I'm still here, looking for that flicker. Don't run away from me. Don't run away from this. Don't run away from me. I see that flicker I used to see.
Oh, you're videoing. Disrespect enough.
Right, yeah, so basically what we're trying to do now is we have the original washer bottle that kind of went down where Tom's elbow is now. And the air filter was, so it went down there and it kind of just restricts all this whole area, and because hopefully next year we'll be doing a turbo build, this will have to go anyway. So basically you can get a relocation kit. The problem is, Dave Fabs do one, and they come around this side here. So the ones that we can get are about 120 quid. which is a model for just a little bit of a bottle there. So if you can get hold of a Suzuki Cappuccino OEM one, it fits in exactly the same place. You just extend the silicone hose there for the fluid line, and then just rewire speaker wire or any basic wire straight down the end here, and bolt it down. It's done. So big old bulky bottle out the way, nice discreet one in the corner. So Tom is better with wiring, so he's just going around doing that bit now, jumping in the car literally.
So I get in the way if we put it there. No?
Is that still filming?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And here we are.
Beautiful.
I see you.
Ooh, that ain't nothing.
Ben's good at this. I got busted.
Yes, I did. To grind it down, step away.
Oh.
You have one like and one comment?
Yes.
No. The video's not even up yet.
Yeah, but I'll be the person to like and comment as soon as you put it
Oh,
up.
I didn't think of that. That was not a good plan. Well, it's not my plan. No. Why did I think of this at the time?
Are you sure?
That one a bit wider than that.
Yeah.
Oil.
We'll have even. We'll have even.
We'll have eat. Swap her over.
Bird or have even.
Da 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 da. I'll be the father.
Bore out my hole.
And here we have the point of view cam from Jay. Drilling Ben.
Beautiful.
Beep.
Like a glove.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Right, so just need to do that one. Very simple, isn't it?
All the gear, no idea. This is the face of a man that's not overly happy because it started to rain, and we haven't got the side skirts on yet.
No, go on.
Ben's lunching out because his skin's not waterproof.
Nope.
Yep.
And the rear bumper still hasn't been chopped, even though I was that like in that comment. Your battery's gonna die.
No, we're yeah.
Okay, I know this is going to be a really anticlimactic end now, considering we went through all of that, and then I got nothing at the end. And the reason being is, where you see at the end it started to rain, it hammered it down seconds after we finished that last bit. So it was a mad panic of getting all the extension leads in, the electrical tools, all tools, and we had to literally abandon ship. And you can see here, side skirts, front bumper. It's now Monday evening, about 9:30. I'm trying to go through all the footage and trying to clear it all up and trying to edit and everything. And it was just such an abrupt end, which is a real big shame. However, I'm going to call it part one, because there's definitely more that we got to do. We still got to fit the body kit, still got to fit the exhaust when that arrives, and we're still having a few issues actually. So the faults that we thought we picked up with the coil packs clearly needed doing because they are falling apart and they're just trash. But there's still some kind of some idle issue. It's still cutting out. I was driving to and from work today. I put it down to a vacuum leak now, I think. So we've got to check the vac lines and stuff. I do still work full time, so the time I get to do these is normally the weekends if I'm not already busy doing something. So I know it's going to be awkward because this is now part one. It's a real abrupt end, and now you got to wait maybe a week or 2 weeks for the part two. It's just the way it's going to have to go, I'm afraid. I might start making a car playlist on the channel so you can see all the car stuff separately and individually. So it was just one of those things. I don't want to rabbit on for too long because this is already like a 32-minute video, but I hope you understand it was a very quick end to the video. These things happen, unfortunately. So I really do hope you enjoyed the different content. I had a lot of fun, although the weather was really against us on and off all day. Catch up with Ben and Tom and working on the car together was a lot of fun. and it's slowly getting there. It's slowly getting there. We've got the wheel to do as well now, the steering wheel. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will try and kind of see you very soon on the next one for normal vlogging, and then we'll try and get back to this kind of part 2 of the car as soon as I can. So, I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Do you like this content? Do you not? And as always, I'll see you next time. So, stay safe, be vigilant, and peace out. Laters.